We got one more game in Group C, and the winner of this will advance to next month's quarterfinals. So a lot at stake here for these two. I don't know. I think Cowana have a very real chance here. Having said that, Krone are a good team, but they've made a lot of mistakes today that they need to avoid here.
Interested to see who gets this Fent Baylor. We see Krone making a beeline. No, have Krone made a beeline for it? No, they haven't. Krone have not gone for the Fent Baylor
going for the
that caused them so much problem. And Cowana have gone straight for it. Straight in there, grabbed it, got themselves set up.
Goodness.
I'm not seeing anything at the moment that's giving me confidence in Krone.
Yeah,
at all.
I'm with you. I mean, who knows how it'll play out, because maybe the drops will fall in their favor, but you're asking a lot that the drops will be perfect for you. Not only that it'll be the right drop, but that it'll be in the right location, that you have time to make the effort to go get it as well. So a risky game to play. It's paid off and also shot them in the foot today, Krone, basing their gameplay off of hoping to get the grain multiplier. Soccer, did you get the recap that you were looking for? Did you hear it in the delay, or would you like me to run it down again? You've not missed a whole lot. I mean, really the only thing is Cortiva have advanced so far, and then one of these two teams will advance out of Group C. Basically, that's what we're looking at. Astragon, the only team so far to be eliminated.
Good first bail.
Yeah, good first bail. Only 1 point in it.
Now, we know Cowana tend to play a similar game to Krone with when they dump their grain as well. Both teams tend to use the dual combine setup. I do think that dual combine setup is a stronger way to go most of the time. You don't tend to lose much by not delivering all your grain early, but if that grain multiplier turns up at the 8-minute mark, you can decimate your opponents if they dump their grain early. So I definitely think that's the stronger game at the moment. This Fent Baylor, this tends to be the stronger setup once you get that care wheel tractor off it and get your larger tractor on it instead. So even at this point though, we do have a 1 bale advantage to Cowana. They've managed to already press an extra bale.
Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah. It's something that we've picked up on, but as of yet, it doesn't seem like a lot of the teams have picked up on it. You know, I think it might be a case of we're at the end of Season 3 and teams have the way they want to play, and that's what they're going to stick with. But at the same time, when it gets to being the slimmest of margins between these teams, the best teams, the Trelleborgs of this season, are the teams that can adapt on the fly, are willing to alter their strategy, and willing to disrupt their opponents as well. Those are the teams that really separate themselves from the pack, even when it's just the slimmest of margins in between how evenly matched they are. So I'm just really surprised that no one has made a move to dump Archimedes and reserve that or ban that Baylor or whatever it may be. Go with something different. At least Krone could have tried to compete with Cowana for the Baylor as well at the beginning. They didn't even seem interested. Grain multiplier has been picked up by Krone, and it's just about to be picked up by Cowana. So good play from both teams there. Krone already
I actually
delivering.
thought Cowana were at a slight disadvantage, but I think they've managed to catch up with it. Krone dropping their grain first, but the reason Cowana is slightly behind is because they were filling up a little bit more, and I think they have a decent amount on here as well, and it's going back the other way. There is plenty of time for both teams to get this in under this grain multiplier. And yeah, this has changed how this is going to be played now. these trailers have to go back out onto the field, which is not really what they were thinking of doing originally.
Yep. Both teams kind of disrupted by it. It's kind of, just canceling each other out at the moment. We'll see what happens in the 8th minute. We won't have grain multiplier in the 8th minute. We know that for sure. But maybe bale multiplier will come up then and a team can really take advantage. I do like, though, that it seems like throughout this weekend that there's been a general uptick in the amount of 12th and 8th minute drops that have been useful and utilized by teams. So that's good to see.
What? 22,000 liters to 24,000 liters. So slightly
even on bales
more.
At the moment, Krone have made it back up. I mean, in fact, Krone have a 1 bale advantage, but as soon as Cowana get back to focusing on that baler, they can make that up. So Jackaroo needs to do all he can to get as far ahead as possible. But it's 4-3 now, and it seems like both teams are pressing bales. So I want to see we're just at the 9th minute mark, and I want to see how long it takes Cowana to pass them.
Yeah. I've got a very sharp eye on that bale count now. I'm waiting for the moment that overtakes.
Well, now it's
you can see it. They're catching up quicker with each bale.
Yep. Okay, it just went to 6-5. Now it's 6-6. Yeah, it's getting closer now. Any moment now, it's going to start going in the way of Cowana. It's crazy. They're closing the gap in between when they press, and eventually they're going to pass them. And there it is. So it took 45 seconds. They were down a bale, and they've now taken over. It's insane.
That baler is mad. Yeah. Look at that. And now it looks like Krone have stopped baling at the moment, and as a result,
we got bale multiplier here. Teams need to try to take advantage of this. Cowana are going to. Frozen chicken, we don't have any news to share at this time on the FSL in the future for Season 4.
It looks like...
they've gone with speed up.
They went for speed up.
Interesting. To be fair, though, he's just now grabbing the Anderson, and he has the stacker on the front, so the only real option would have been Baff bringing them in and would have had to put them into the bottom via the baler. So maybe not the worst thing, but I wonder if Krone go with bale multiplier or speed up here. It looks like they're going to go bale multiplier.
Yeah. Now
do they have bales ready to deliver?
Got interesting.
Do they have bales ready to deliver, though? Because there's their Anderson loader. So they don't have any on the Anderson, but maybe they have some on the front of a tractor they're going to bring in.
I think
Meanwhile, Cowana delivering grain.
Yeah, so both teams now delivering grain. I think Krone have gone for the wrong option.
Yeah,
they've not got. You're right. They've not got any bales there to take any advantage of this for the next 51 seconds.
They need to get some bales in.
Speed up is gonna be so important to Cowana Gaming for getting all these bales back and starting to score points, because they have extra bales. You know, they now have 18 bales to 12.
Yeah, 6 extra. It's crazy. It only took them like 3 minutes to go from trailing to a 6 bale advantage with that Fent baler. It's absolutely the go-to baler right now.
But look at that. Krone have managed to take some advantage of that bale multiplier.
Close to a combo for Krone as well.
If I was Cowana, there are no bales there for Krone. Shove everything into the bottom.
Look at that. Krone are 1 short of the combo, so Cowana are going to get the counter here. So that was bad timing. He would have been better off leaving those on the ground instead of falling 1 short of, because he's going to give Cowana a free 30 points here.
Right.
On top of, they're going to score the 40 just for the bales. So There it is.
There we go.
That was an
50
easy
points,
counter.
yes.
That was a bad bit of play, really. That was, you either need to just leave them for later, or you need to have an extra one ready there.
Yeah, he could have denied Cowana an extra 30 points there by losing 10 points himself. So yeah, putting that last bale in and leaving that open was just such a bad play.
They have a nice lead right now, but the problem is they've been bringing bales in consistently, and Cowana now has 9 extra outstanding. So Cowana can easily close this gap in the final 4 minutes. And if bottom boost comes up and Cowana gets it, they're going to be able to put all of them directly from the Anderson into the bottom, and that'll really change things.
MBK is now sitting there
Tommy
waiting to try and...
Says a little bit confusing when some teams are named after the stuff they use. Well, some of the teams that are have the brand names are actually sponsored by those brands, so that's why they're named Krone, and we've got John Deere, Valtra, Trelleborg, etc. And then Cowana Gaming is an esports organization, so we also have LSA Esports, who advanced to the quarterfinals yesterday. Bale withering for 1 bale for both teams. Don't think this is worth it at all.
They had a
it was a counter.
A bale combo, frozen chicken.
Yeah, if you counter the combo at the right moment, if you look at the bottom left, you can see the combo counter, and whenever it's in the counter stage, it turns red. So for a bale-tastic counter, you have to counter at 8 or 9 bales put in a row by your opponent. For a bale pressive, it's 13 or 14 in a row that you need to counter at. For a baling spree, it's 19 in a row, and an impossible counter is at 24 in a row that you counter.
Look at that. The scores are already evening up. This is not looking good for Krone. There's 5 more bales on the field, and the score is almost even. That is just not good.
Yeah, it's going to come down now to making sure, for Cowana's perspective, that they don't have any mistakes here. It looks like they haven't brought the Anderson loader in yet, so you need to make sure you don't get that Anderson loader stuck on a bridge, because that would cost you. So play it safe, get those bales in. You got plenty of time to get them stacked up on the belt and close this gap and get the win. He's still out there, though, with 2.5 to go. He's just about full and will be heading in soon.
I think if he gets that in with the 2 minutes on the clock...
That's more than enough time, yeah.
That's more than enough to get those in.
No, there's no Team Giants because we're disqualified from playing in the official tournament. That wouldn't be right. Yeah. We code the game. We would have some legs up. Oh, Giants gets the special Giants buff. We are unbeatable. That doesn't seem fair.
And here we go.
Yeah, I mean, there will be a day 1 patch for 22. So even though the physical edition is shipped, the world we live in now, it's possible to make pretty last minute changes for that day 1 patch. So we're always listening to feedback, and we're definitely, of course, looking to squash all the bugs. And I'm sure that during the early access period, that'll be helpful for us, because we'll have so many influencers and media and the like playing it that they'll catch things that we didn't catch, right? Because it's always nice to have more eyes on something, because then you get an outside perspective. Sometimes you can get into kind of tunnel vision, right? The QA team is working hard, and they've eliminated a lot of the bugs. I
played FS19 for a week before its launch, and I was even when I was sitting in the office, I was putting in bug reports for stuff we caught. Even then, 80%, 90% of the bugs that appeared on launch day were not ones that we'd seen in the office. Any of us had seen in the office,
right?
Which was
Krone actually have a nice lead here with 40 seconds to go, but look at the bale difference. Cowana need to get their bales in with 35 seconds to go. Klomp, you can play this game in training mode. Go to the website; it explains on the media page how to set up the training mode, and you can do that with 1 to 3 people on your team, but the AI team like doesn't actually play. There's no bots, so it's really just a way to practice. Yeah, Cowana are having to put some in the bottom, and they have 4 outstanding that they haven't brought in, and I don't know if they're actually going to win.
I think against the odds, Cowana are going to lose this. 904 to 926. I did not expect that.
They had 2 bales that they didn't get in. Get those in and you win. And unfortunately, they ran out of time. So well done to Krone. We were kind of, I don't want to say hating on them, but we were doubting that they had a chance.
You saw Cortiva do that. Cortiva never had anybody standing still on their team at any point. And that's because if there were no bales at the barn, then the stacker went out and got them. And I don't think Cowana did that because they were driving that Fent baler in instead of getting the stacker to come out.
Here we go. So where is the Fent baler? We couldn't see it on our screen if anyone was going for it. We see Krone getting the New Holland harvester. There's Cowana going by in the John Deere harvester. But where is Baff?
So the John Deere baler is with Krone. Where is Baff?
There it is. Yep, Fent
there
baler.
He is
there it is.
With the Fent baler.
Already on the way with the first bale.
They are consciously targeting that baler, Cowana Gaming.
It is interesting that even with the horsepower shortage, it slows you down a bit, but Cowana were far enough ahead there that they might take the first bale advantage here too, and then will likely switch the tractor they're using to operate the Fent.
Yeah. It tends to be how they do
There
things.
it is.
There we are. 127
because you need
first bale.
You need the narrow tires to be able to cut through the crop without being slowed down. Yeah. So that's more important to pick up the speed than it is to have the horsepower matching up perfectly for this baler. So it makes up for it by being able to cut through the crop, the time that you lose by not having enough horsepower.
I think it looks like what that horsepower deficiency does is it slows the baler down a little bit. I still don't think it takes it down as far as
that. But only when it's operating too, I would say. Not when it's pulling. So it's not that much of a disadvantage, and you can make it up in other ways for sure.
And already again, Cowana Gaming has a bale advantage over Krone.
I like this strategy. This is Krone we're looking at now, but they get the first bale, and then they come down at this strip right nearby where they exit, and they go ahead and get another bale press and then switch into the grain cart. And then by about that time, their teammates are ready to start unloading for the first time out of their combines.
We did see this. Yeah, we saw this last time as well. Cowana being ever so slightly behind Krone in getting that stuff unloaded.
Hello, Gaming FFC and Chameleon. I like that comment. Kermit, you'll get this, and you're right, because I am a big football fan or soccer for my fellow Americans. If they're not going to show the Premier League on mainstream cable channels, they've lost me to FSL. You know what? I am fine with this development for you, because as much as I love the Premier League, I love the FSL, and that means you get to hang out with us. Of course, it's an international break right now, so there's no club football to speak of, but still, losing to the FSL is a fine thing.
Out of the Brit and the American who cast the FSL, it's the American who follows the football.
Yeah, but it happens to me a lot because gamers, there's some gamers that are into sports, and then there's a lot that aren't really as well. But to each their own. I didn't grow up with football in my life or soccer. I got into it when I was 18, and ever since then I've been an absolute nut about it. And it's my favorite sport now. It's basically the only sport I watch. And before I got hired by Giants, I was working as a freelance commentator for soccer at the university level in Colorado. So That's kind of, I have a commentary background, and that's translated really well to the FSL, and it combines two things I love: broadcasting and commentary with Farming Simulator. Two things that mean a lot to me in my life, and now I get to combine both for my job, and that's just really special. It really is a dream come true.
I will say my commentary style is completely based on watching football commentaries.
Yeah, and I probably say like some British lingo like knackered and you know, get stuck in and things like that because of football. I've definitely picked up on phrases like that over the years.
At least we have never said this is a game of two halves so far, which would probably.
My favorite cliche I've ever heard in sports commentary was actually during a hockey match I was watching one time, and they were asking like the color commentator at the beginning, like, who do you think is going to win this? And he said, well, the team that scores the most goals has a good chance of winning today. So for the FSL, the team that scores the most points in this match has a really good chance of winning, for sure. What's up, Mind Prophet? Good to see you, Daddy-O. Hope you're having a good weekend, buddy. John Mark Holland on Facebook says, what did I miss? Cortiva are into the quarterfinals from Group C, and the winner of this, which Krone are 1 win away, Cowana have to force the third of the best of 3, or they are out and Krone are in. So the winner of this matchup will be the second team from Group C to advance to the quarterfinals, and then we have the entirety of Group D still to come, and we have like some really good teams in Group D. We've got Herman against Perdinger in the first game, Manitou against Mind Sanity in the second game, and those go double elimination as well. So 2 more teams will be decided in Group D who will advance to next month's finals. And I'm looking forward to the finals, Alex. It's actually it's kind of a bummer. This isn't an in-person event, and things had to be shifted kind of at the last minute, and it didn't end up being 3 days in person. But hopefully the finals will be an in-person event, and that just means we get to do some FSL commentary in December. So not the worst case scenario, really. You got to be able to adapt in this day and age with COVID.
Oh, absolutely. I just Fielding. Murray Walker is probably because F1 would be my thing as well. So there's a fair amount of Murray Walker in there too. Yeah, absolutely.
Pass what to probably the German office, Chameleon? What? All right, so we're under the 8th minute mark here. Those 8th minute drops, I didn't see what they were. Neither team has picked one up yet. Krone are already delivering grain, so grain multiplier must not be in play.
There they speed are. Limit Bale drop and speed limit. I don't think this is going to be for either.
Unless you're coming in with bales already and you want to grab one. Otherwise, it's not worth it going out of your way. Meanwhile, Krone have got a 3-to-1 multiplier. 58,000 grain still outstanding for Cowana. But look, here comes SDR to score some.
They are in a position to take advantage of it and are putting speed limit on.
Okay, that might work.
Cowana.
That might slow Cowana from getting there to deliver grain, and if he can get these 3 on, he's going to score 30 points per bale. So you're talking about 90 points at stake here. Oh, but Cowana
are now going the other way.
Ooh, so he's not going to get really any of these at extra points. I don't think the belt will.
Oh no, it stopped.
Oh, now
because Krone's delivering, and it's going back up to the 3 times.
Oh, Cowana aren't aware. And they're emptying into the grain cart. They're not aware that Krone are about to score points. So
look
how slow it's going.
So slow.
There's one at 30. The rest are going to be lower than that. But at least one got in at 30. The others are going to get in with a good bit of extra points too. 27. Maybe 25, 24 for this next one. 25 just in time. Wow.
That is a good amount of stuff. The same, give it a take a year.
I love it, Mind Prophet.
There is a fair amount of Murray Walker in my commentary style as well.
Do you mean like, did they replay the games? I've never seen a major bug in the FSL be a problem. Like, this is a controlled build of the game. It's specifically built for the competitive mode. So there's been stuff patched, and then you can see like the players duplicate. But
we've never had a game replayed. We've had games stopped and restarted due to a player getting disconnected.
Right. But it doesn't ever restart from the start. Like a technical break, you have, 3 minutes to get back in. And if you don't, then they have to play shorthanded.
Yesterday was a great example, actually. One of the teams had a problem with connection issues at the start of the game. They didn't completely disconnect, but the team still had to play with what they'd selected when they were selecting stuff in the selection stages.
I really think that Krone have brought their A game to this matchup against Cowana, and they've picked the right time to bring their A game. They only trail by 1 bale in the bale count right now, and they have a nice little lead with 4 minutes and 40 seconds to go. Cowana are going to need a super drop to go their way, really, or mistakes by Krone to flip this back in their favor, I think. Although we thought Krone were up against it last time at about this time, and they completely shocked us and turned it around. So maybe Cowana can do the same.
This time, they've grabbed that Coon Baler, and that doesn't have the deficiencies that some of the others have, and it takes less straw to do that, and to press bales from it.
Right.
And I think what's happened is Cowana are doing the same thing they did last time. They're not out there creating bales. Bottom boost, they just unloaded
Cowana,
that Anderson.
Cowana, you need this. Go for it.
They don't have any bales on it. They don't, and that's... Oh, no.
Looks like Krone might be going for it. Here comes Jackaroo.
They are. They're
up
headed
the hill.
Straight out there. And do they have a full Anderson to take advantage of it? They definitely
I think
wanted
so. I think
this.
they just pulled up to the barn with one, to be honest. This is going to be huge.
Are we about to see a massive load of points?
Yep, there it goes. We're not seeing it. There's a Bale-tastic.
Fantastic. There's
the
Bale
pressive, and that's probably nail in the coffin for Cowana.
That's got to be. There's just no way.
Bad timing on their part.
They haven't got Bales to respond to that.
That's why I think like 8th minute, like during the drop periods, if you're going to deliver grain in the 12th or 8th minute, you need to wait to deliver it until you see if grain multiplier shows up. It's the same thing with the super drop. When you get close to the 4th minute, if you're bringing the Anderson loader in, you need to wait to decide if you're going to unload it or not to see if bottom boost shows up, because that is a huge advantage for Krone now, because they were bringing theirs in and hadn't unloaded it, and they were like, well, we need to go for this for sure now. And I don't see any route back into this now for Cowana.
There's no way, and they don't still have the bottom boost, but they're waiting. Yeah, they're waiting to counter that. Didn't quite get it at the right moment. In fact, took it early, I think, because they were expecting Cowana to try and dump bales in the bottom. But
the only way back into this is like a bonus, but that's not going to happen. I don't think they're getting any combo points at this rate. So that 4th minute super drop, that's the biggest one of the day.
In at their leisure.
Oh, that one's falling off for
Speaking of at their leisure, STR needs to clean up. And, fantastic counter from Krone as well.
Good night. Cowana has had some really good showings in games today, but this is going to be their biggest margin of loss, and it's going to knock them out of the Season 3 group stages here, and it'll be Krone joining Cortiva from Group C in next month's quarterfinals here. MarschellMaiden coming in, waiting for the
from Cowana
bridge to come down. And with 1 minute to go, They're closing the gap a little bit, Cowana, but now a full Anderson coming in for Krone. And those bales, I don't think are going to make it. That one definitely isn't going to. And Cowana now are playing the final 40 seconds of their Season 3. Good showing by Cowana today, though. But Krone has, like I said, they saved their best for last. We were kind of doubting them coming into this matchup. And they have played 2 really solid games here. There's a bale-tastic for Cowana that makes it seem a little bit more respectable, but there's just not the bales there now for them to get back into it.
20 seconds left. They can't get those bales in the top.
That bale pressive is the difference. That bottom boost and the bale pressive, because of it, has won this game for Krone.
How different this would be had they not unloaded that Anderson and gone and grabbed that power up. And there we go. Krone,
congratulations to Krone. I mean, you know, so the 2 highest seeded teams from this group move on. So it's pretty standard, although Bednar advanced as the 9th seed out of that first group yesterday over John Deere, who were the 8th seed. But